It was a quiet night in a small village where the stars shone softly like tiny lanterns in the sky, and the moon smiled gently from above, watching over everything with a peaceful glow. Inside a little wooden house, a small girl lay in her cozy bed, wrapped in a warm blanket, her teddy bear snuggled beside her, and her eyes slowly blinking with sleepiness as the night whispered sweet lullabies through the window. The gentle breeze touched the curtains, making them sway like soft waves, and the world outside seemed to slow down, as if even the trees and flowers were ready for sleep. The girl looked up at the ceiling and imagined it turning into a sky full of stars, each one sparkling with a dream inside, waiting just for her. She closed her eyes and saw herself flying gently above the clouds, where the air was soft and the stars floated around her like friendly fireflies, twinkling and giggling, guiding her to dreamland. In her dream, she walked through fields made of cotton clouds, where every step felt like walking on pillows, and the sky above changed colors like a painting, soft blues, purples, and pinks, all blending into one another. She met tiny creatures made of stardust who danced around her and gave her a glowing feather that made her feel light as air. She floated to the moon, where the moon himself was an old, kind man with a gentle voice who told her stories of dreamers from long ago. Children who wished on stars and found magic in their hearts. He sang her a lullaby so soft that even the stars started to hum along, and her heart felt warm and safe. She looked back down at her village from the sky and saw her home, her parents asleep peacefully, her little dog curled up by the door, and she felt love in every part of her dream. As the dream carried on, the girl visited a garden where flowers only bloomed under moonlight, glowing softly and whispering kind words to each other. And when she touched them, they shared gentle memories of laughter, hugs, and bedtime kisses. She lay down among the glowing petals and felt them cover her like a soft blanket, wrapping her in comfort and joy. The stars above slowly dimmed, signaling that morning was near, and the dream started to drift away like mist in the wind. With one last smile, the girl waved goodbye to the moon, the stars, and the dreamy friends she had made, and she floated gently back into her room, where her bed was waiting with open arms. She snuggled back under her blanket, still holding the teddy bear, and even though her eyes remained closed, her lips curled into a smile, and the tiniest sparkle of stardust landed softly on her pillow, a gift from the night. The sky outside began to turn light blue, birds started to sing their soft morning songs, and the village began to wake. But the little girl remained asleep, wrapped in peace and dreams, her heart full of calmness, as if the whole night had been a hug made just for her, a night full of gentle dreams that would stay in her heart forever. On the edge of a quiet village surrounded by fields and soft hills, a little girl with curious eyes and a heart full of dreams lay in her bed beneath a sky full of stars, her tiny window wide open to let in the cool breeze of the night. She held her favorite pillow tightly, her small face resting against it as she gazed at the sparkling sky, wondering if anyone up there was listening to her silent thoughts. Earlier that day, she had felt lonely and wished she had someone special to talk to. Someone who would understand her little stories and secret dreams. And as the stars twinkled like diamonds across the dark sky, one star in particular seemed to shine just a bit brighter than the rest. She looked at it with wonder and whispered softly, "I wish I had a friend who would never leave me." And though the wind carried her words away, the star flickered as if it had heard her very clearly. That night, as her eyes slowly closed and her breath became soft and steady, she found herself gently floating into a dream where the stars came closer and the sky felt like a warm blanket around her. She stood on a glowing path made of stardust, and ahead of her was the same star that had shone the brightest earlier. It was no longer just a light in the sky, but a gentle, glowing friend with a voice like a soft song and eyes that sparkled with kindness. The star introduced itself in a whisper and told her that it had heard her wish, and that sometimes, when wishes are pure and kind, the stars listen more closely than anyone else. Together they floated above the trees and the houses, through the clouds and over the rivers, watching the world sleep peacefully below. The star told her stories of the sky, of the children it had watched over, of dreams that grew into hope, and of hearts that found light in the darkest nights. The girl laughed and listened, feeling like she belonged in the dream more than anywhere else, her worries slowly melting into the soft glow around her. They visited the moon, who greeted them with a sleepy smile, and sang a lullaby that wrapped around her like a gentle hug, and as the night passed, the girl began to feel sleepier in her dream too, her body light, her heart full, and her mind calm like still water. The star gently led her back down to her little house, whispering one last promise. Whenever you need me, just look up, and I'll be there, shining for you. And with that, the dream faded like morning mist, and she opened her eyes. To the early light of dawn, the birds were just beginning to sing, and the sky still held a hint of the night's magic, with that one special star slowly disappearing behind the sunlight, as if waving goodbye. The girl stretched and smiled, her heart quiet but happy, because deep down she knew the star had truly heard her, and would always listen, and from that day forward, every night before sleeping, she looked up at the sky and whispered her thoughts to that glowing friend, never feeling alone again, for she now believed in the star who heard her wish, and it made her nights softer, her dreams sweeter, and her heart forever warm. As the sun dipped quietly behind the hills and painted the sky in soft shades of purple and gold, a calm silence fell over a small village tucked between trees and meadows, where a little girl with sleepy eyes sat by her window, listening to the gentle rustling of leaves outside, her heart slowly settling into the peaceful rhythm of night. The wind was not loud or cold, but warm and soft, like the hug of a blanket, brushing against the curtains and singing silent lullabies as it passed through the cracks of her window, and to her, it felt like the world was whispering good night. She laid down on her bed, hugging her stuffed rabbit close to her chest, and let her eyes rest on the shadows dancing on the walls, quiet shapes that swayed like waves, carried by the breeze. Outside, the trees moved gently as if they were tired too, and the flowers had closed their petals, ready for their own dreamy rest. The wind seemed to know she was listening, for it began to tell her a quiet story, not in words, but in soft, sleepy sounds that drifted into her ears and filled her heart with comfort. In her mind, the wind became a kind friend, invisible yet warm, guiding her gently to a dream where the sky was always twilight and everything felt safe. She walked through a glowing field where each blade of grass whispered her name with kindness, and the wind carried the scent of lavender and fresh rain, calming her even more. In that dreamland, the stars hung low enough to touch, and the moon spoke in a soft hum, as if singing a lullaby only she could hear. Clouds floated beneath her feet like soft cushions, and the wind swirled around her like a dance, playful yet peaceful, spinning her slowly through scenes of joy and calm. She saw a lake so still it reflected the stars perfectly, and the wind tickled the surface just enough to make it shimmer, like glitter scattered on glass. Everywhere she went in the dream, the wind stayed with her, holding her hand like an old friend who always knew what she needed. Not noise, not words, just presence, soft and warm and full of understanding. She felt so light, so cared for, like the world had stopped rushing and started listening. Eventually, the dream began to fade like mist, and the wind whispered one last good night, wrapping around her like a gentle sigh before carrying her back to her cozy room. She opened her eyes just a little, enough to see the curtains still swaying and the stars still twinkling outside her window, and with a tiny smile, she closed them again, her heart filled with peace and her body ready for deep, quiet sleep. The wind stayed by her side, moving slowly through the night, making the trees sway and the leaves sing their sleepy song. And as the moon watched from above and the world rested in silence, the little girl drifted into the softest slumber, wrapped in nothing but soft winds and sleepy whispers. As night gently settled over the quiet village and the sky turned deep blue, the moon slowly rose behind the hills, casting its silver light across the rooftops and treetops like a soft, glowing blanket. And in a small room with pale curtains fluttering in the breeze, a little boy lay on his bed, eyes half closed, listening to the quiet hum of the evening. His room was calm, filled with the soft tick of the clock and the faint rustle of wind outside, and on his bed, the moonlight spilled through the window, landing on his pillow like a soft shimmer of magic. It felt cool but comforting, as though the moon itself had reached down to give him something special to rest his head on. A pillow not just of feathers, but of light and dreams. He turned his head slightly and smiled, feeling the gentle glow touch his cheek, and slowly his thoughts floated far away from the worries of the day, guided by the moon's tender light. His breathing slowed, and in his mind, he began to dream. Not in colors or sounds, but in feelings of safety, warmth, and wonder. He saw himself walking through a night garden where the flowers opened only under moonlight, their petals glowing faintly like stars on the ground, and above him, the moon watched lovingly, following his steps and wrapping him in peace. The garden path led him to a quiet stream where the water shimmered like glass, and when he dipped his hand into it, he felt memories of laughter, bedtime stories, and gentle hugs, the kind of moments that make hearts feel full even in dreams. The moonlight flowed all around him like a river, guiding him deeper into calmness, and with each step, his body felt lighter, as if the worries had drifted away like dandelions in the wind. He climbed a soft hill made of clouds and lay down once more, resting his head again. This time, not just on any surface, but on a glowing moonbeam that shaped itself like a pillow beneath him. The stars above blinked slowly, like sleepy eyes watching over him, and a soft lullaby began to play in the air, made of wind and light and all the soft sounds of the universe. The boy closed his eyes tighter in the dream, drifting even deeper, his heart at peace and his thoughts quiet, as if the whole night had been created just to help him sleep. The moon whispered good night with its light, brushing his forehead gently, and the stars promised to keep watch until morning. Back in his room, the breeze slowed, the curtains stilled, and the moonlight continued to shine gently on his face, as if guarding him through the quiet hours. Outside, the village was still, wrapped in slumber, while inside, the boy slept soundly, his dreams light and lovely, his pillow glowing softly beneath him. Not just any pillow, but a pillow of moonlight, made from kindness, stillness, and the pure peace of the night. As the golden sun dipped behind the hills and the sky slowly changed from blue to soft purple and gentle gray, a little girl with sleepy eyes stood by her window, hugging her blanket as the first stars began to peek through the clouds, and the cool breeze drifted in with the scent of nighttime flowers and the promise of peaceful rest. The sky above, now calm and wide, seemed to breathe with her, as if it knew she was tired and ready to sleep. And as she lay down on her small cozy bed, the world outside fell silent except for the rustle of leaves and the occasional chirp of a sleepy bird. The girl closed her eyes, but before she drifted off, something magical happened. The sky, full of stars and softness, began to hum a lullaby, not in words, but in sounds so sweet and gentle that they wrapped around her like the softest hug. It started with the whisper of wind through the trees, followed by the low hum of distant crickets, and then the softest notes of starlight, like bells, that only dreams could hear, and all of it together felt like the sky was singing just for her. In her mind, she was lifted gently into a dream, where the sky had no end and the clouds danced slowly to the rhythm of the lullaby, floating like fluffy pillows above fields of moonlit flowers. The stars blinked in time with the melody, and the moon, round and glowing, swayed softly as if rocking her to sleep. She wandered through that dream sky, barefoot and free, her hair floating like feathers as the song carried her from one peaceful place to another, over sleepy mountains, quiet lakes, and glowing forests where even the trees seemed to sleep. She met gentle creatures made of light who smiled but didn't speak, who pointed toward the stars and guided her deeper into the dream, where everything was soft, slow, and full of comfort. The lullaby never stopped, flowing through the sky like a river of music, and though she never saw the voice, she knew it was the sky itself, alive, kind, and watching over her. Each note told her she was safe, each hum reminded her she was loved, and every pause in the melody was filled with peace. Slowly, the dream began to fade, not in a rush, but like morning fog, and as her eyes fluttered open just a little, she saw the sky outside still glowing faintly with the last touch of moonlight, as if smiling at her before the day began. The lullaby had stopped, but its echo stayed in her heart, warm and gentle, like a promise that it would return. The next night, with a tiny sigh and a smile on her lips, she turned over in her bed, holding her blanket tighter, already feeling the sleep pull her back, knowing that when the stars returned and the wind began to whisper again, the sky would sing her another lullaby, just as soft, just as sweet, and just as full of love. As the sun slowly dipped beyond the hills and the sky turned into a soft canvas of twilight blues and purples, a little boy named Arif sat by his window, watching the first stars twinkle into view, their tiny lights gently winking as if calling to him. And as the world outside grew quieter, the wind softened, carrying the scent of nighttime flowers and the peaceful hush of the village settling in for sleep. Arif's eyes began to grow heavy, but just before he laid his head down, he whispered a wish to the stars, hoping they would come and play with him one last time before he drifted into dreams. And to his surprise, the stars shimmered brighter as if they had heard him. Suddenly, the night outside came alive, not with noise or color, but with magic so gentle it felt like a lullaby wrapped in stardust. And from the sky, soft lights began to fall, twirling slowly like snowflakes, landing quietly on his windowsill. The stars had come to play, not in loud ways, but in soft, sleepy games that made his heart feel light and safe. They formed tiny animals of light that danced across his walls, little starcats stretching in the moonlight and starbirds flying slowly above his bed. He giggled quietly, not wanting to wake the house, and reached out to touch the glowing shapes that tickled his fingers and then melted into sparkles. The stars led him gently into his dream, where the world was made of light and the ground glowed beneath his feet as he walked through meadows where the grass was silver and trees shimmered softly with every breeze. Above him, stars floated freely, dipping low to dance around him, each one singing in soft tones only dreams could hear. A lullaby made of sky and light and quiet joy. They played hide and seek behind sleepy clouds, raced along glowing rivers, and even built little castles in the sky from pieces of moonlight, inviting him to rest inside. Everything felt safe, slow, and warm, like being wrapped in a bedtime hug from the entire universe. And even as he played, his eyes began to close within the dream, the stars wrapping around him like a blanket of glowing peace. One by one, the stars whispered goodnight, placing tiny kisses of light on his cheeks, and the last one, the smallest and kindest of all, tucked him into a bed made of clouds, promising to return whenever he needed them. Back in his real room, Arif's tiny chest rose and fell with calm breaths, his face glowing softly in the light of the stars still shining. Outside his window, keeping watch as he slept peacefully, his dreams full of silver laughter and gentle games. And so, in that quiet night, the stars played with him not to keep him awake, but to guide him gently into sleep, where every sparkle was a promise that they would return again. On every night when the sky was clear and his heart was open, ready for another sleepy adventure with the stars who came to play. As the evening sky turned from golden to dusky blue and the first stars began to sparkle above the quiet village, a little girl named Mina sat outside on a woven mat with her grandmother, listening to stories that floated gently through the cool air like feathers on the breeze. And as the tale ended and the night deepened, Mina yawned with sleepy eyes and looked up at the stars, wondering if they smiled back at her the way she smiled at them. The stars twinkled so softly that it felt like they were winking, each one glowing like a tiny lantern lit just for her. And in that calm silence, she felt something warm and safe wrap around her. Not a blanket, but the feeling of being loved, watched over, and held by the sky itself. The crickets began to sing their soft song, the leaves rustled gently in the breeze, and the moon cast a silver glow that made everything shimmer in a sleepy sort of way, as if the world itself was ready for bed. Mina lay down with her head resting on her grandmother's lap, and the old woman slowly ran her fingers through Mina's hair, humming a lullaby that matched the rhythm of the wind. And it was in that perfect moment, with the hum of the earth, the twinkle of the sky, and the warmth of her grandma's love, that Mina let out a tiny, sleepy smile. Her eyes closed halfway, but her heart stayed wide open, dreaming not of castles or adventures, but of soft stars and gentle breezes, of clouds that floated low enough to touch, and stars that whispered bedtime secrets only sleepy hearts could hear. In her dream, the stars came down to visit, not as lights, but as glowing friends who held her hand and led her through skies filled with floating pillows and glowing flowers, where laughter was a soft echo and every step felt like walking on feathers. The night was endless and peaceful, with no rush and no noise, just comfort and quiet joy, and all the while, she kept that sleepy smile, not because something made her laugh, but because everything felt just right, like the whole universe had slowed down to help her rest. The stars danced above her, the moon watched gently from afar, and even the trees seemed to hum along with the wind, as if nature itself was trying to soothe her into deeper dreams. Back in the real world, her grandma softly kissed her forehead, whispered a prayer for sweet sleep, and looked up at the stars herself, thankful for the quiet magic they brought each night. And Mina, still smiling in her sleep, lay peacefully under the starlit sky, wrapped not just in her blanket but in the warmth of love, comfort, and quiet wonder, with the stars above watching like old friends, promising to return every night to share another sleepy smile under the stars. As the night sky began to settle into deep shades of navy and velvet, little Ayan sat by his window, gazing at the stars that twinkled softly above, each one like a tiny whisper from the universe, inviting him into the quiet world of dreams. The moon hung low, casting a gentle light across the peaceful landscape, where the trees swayed gently in the breeze and the soft hum of crickets filled the air. Ayan, wrapped in his favorite blanket, felt a warmth in his chest, a feeling of comfort and peace that made his eyelids grow heavy. But just before he drifted off, something magical happened. As his eyes fluttered closed, a soft, cottony cloud appeared right before him, floating silently in the air. The cloud wasn't like any ordinary cloud. It shimmered in the moonlight, glowing with a soft, inviting light, and as Ayan looked at it, he felt a pull, a gentle invitation to step onto it. Without thinking, he climbed into the cloud, feeling it rise softly beneath him, as light and gentle as a pillow. The cloud began to float, slowly drifting up into the sky, carrying him higher and higher, where the stars sparkled brighter, and the world below looked smaller and smaller, as if it were all a distant memory. As the cloud carried him through the night sky, Ayan felt a sense of calm wash over him, a peace that filled him completely, as if he were floating not just through the sky, but through time itself. The stars above twinkled in rhythm with the gentle rocking of the cloud, and in the distance, Ayan could hear soft lullabies, sung by the wind itself, guiding him deeper into the dream. The cloud moved softly, like a boat on a calm river, floating over glowing meadows and quiet mountains, with the moon smiling down, lighting the path ahead. Ayan didn't need to worry about anything. Everything was slow, soft, and full of wonder. He lay back on the cloud, gazing up at the stars that seemed to dance just for him, and a sleepy smile crossed his face. The dream felt so real, so safe, as if the universe itself had wrapped him in its arms. Slowly, he began to drift deeper into sleep, and as he did, the cloud carried him to a place filled with soft golden light, where the air smelled of flowers and the sky was a perfect shade of blue. There, in that magical place, he felt as if he were part of everything: the stars, the clouds, and the gentle breeze that whispered through the trees. The dream floated on, with no rush, no need for anything, just a peaceful journey through a world made of calm and love. The cloud, still carrying him gently, wrapped him in a soft embrace, and Ayan's breathing slowed as the dream wrapped around him like a warm blanket. The stars winked down at him, and the soft lullaby of the night whispered in his ear, telling him that all was well, that he was safe, and that his dream would continue on as long as he wanted it to. And as the night deepened, Ayan's heart filled with the quiet joy of knowing that this dream, the one that floated on a cloud, would be waiting for him whenever he closed his eyes, carrying him to peaceful places and soft skies, where he could rest and float forever in the warmth of the stars. On a quiet, starry evening, under the vast, sparkling sky, a young girl named Lila stood at the edge of a small hill, gazing up at the stars that twinkled like diamonds scattered across a velvet blanket. The gentle night breeze whispered through the trees, and the air felt cool and soft against her skin, as if the night itself was inviting her to dream. She closed her eyes for a moment, took a deep breath, and whispered her wish into the night. A wish she had held close to her heart for so long, a wish that seemed as big as the sky itself. She wished for adventure, for wonder, for a world beyond the one she knew, where magic was real and dreams came true. As soon as she opened her eyes, something incredible happened. A small, glowing star fell from the sky, spiraling down towards her like a shooting star, its light flickering with a soft, golden glow. It landed gently in front of her, lighting up the ground beneath her feet. Lila gasped in awe as the star transformed before her eyes, becoming a tiny, glowing creature with wings like soft feathers, its body shimmering like the stars above. It hovered in front of her, its light soft and inviting. "Your wish has been heard," the little star whispered in a voice that sounded like the wind itself, "and I will guide you to the adventure you seek." With a joyful heart, Lila stepped forward, following the tiny star as it led her to the edge of the forest, where the trees seemed to glow softly in the moonlight, their branches swaying gently in the breeze. The star floated ahead of her, lighting the path, as they ventured deeper into the forest, where every step was filled with wonder. The night seemed alive with magic, as if the world itself had come to life to share its secrets with her. As they walked, The trees whispered stories of the stars, and the wind carried soft songs that made Lila's heart feel light. She could hear the distant call of night birds and the rustling of leaves, but everything felt peaceful, as if the world was holding its breath in anticipation. The deeper they went into the forest, the more the stars above seemed to shine brighter, lighting the way for her. The little star fluttered beside her, showing her the wonders of the night, and Lila couldn't help but smile, her heart full of joy as she realized that her wish was coming true in a way she never expected. She was on an adventure, but it wasn't just any adventure. It was one that felt magical and full of possibility, where each step brought her closer to the unknown, but in a way that felt warm and safe, like being wrapped in the night sky itself. As the journey continued, Lila felt the weight of sleep start to tug at her eyelids, but she didn't want the adventure to end. The little star seemed to understand, its glow softening as it led her to a small clearing, where the moonlight bathed the ground in a soft, silver glow. The star hovered in the air, and with a gentle voice, it whispered, "The adventure you seek is always with you, in your heart and in your dreams. Close your eyes now, and let the stars guide you to the next part of your journey." With that, Lila smiled sleepily and lay down on the soft grass, the stars above twinkling as if they were bidding her good night. She closed her eyes, feeling the warmth of the night surround her, knowing that the adventure would continue when she woke, in a world where wishes were granted, and magic was always just a star away. As the quiet night settled over the world, little Mia lay in her bed, gazing through her window at the vast sky. The stars were twinkling brightly, their soft, steady light shining down like tiny lanterns in the dark. Mia loved the stars. Every night, she would look up and feel like they were winking at her, sharing their secrets of faraway places. On this particular night, the air was cool and calm, and the wind gently rustled the leaves outside, singing a soft lullaby. Mia stretched out, feeling the warmth of her blanket and the soft pillow beneath her head. She sighed contentedly and closed her eyes, but as soon as she did, she opened them again, unable to resist the pull of the stars. They blinked, one by one, as though they were trying to tell her something, and Mia felt a warm, comforting feeling spread through her. She whispered to the stars, "Please guide me to sleep," and as if they heard her wish, they blinked in perfect harmony, their lights growing softer and slower with each blink. The gentle rhythm of the stars seemed to fill the night with a peaceful music that wrapped around her like a warm blanket. Mia's eyes began to feel heavy, but she kept watching, mesmerized by the stars' gentle twinkling, as if they were keeping watch over her. She felt a softness in the air, a quiet magic that made her heart feel light. Slowly, the stars blinked one last time, each one glowing with a peaceful, soothing light that seemed to make the whole world feel still and safe. Mia's body relaxed, her breath deepened, and as the stars continued their dance across the sky, she felt herself drifting, floating gently into a deep, peaceful sleep. The soft twinkling of the stars played in the background of her dreams, like a lullaby that carried her through an enchanting world where the sky was always full of light, and the stars whispered stories of faraway places. As she dreamed, she imagined herself floating among the stars, riding on their soft beams, traveling to distant lands where the night was always calm, and the stars blinked happily, guiding her through gentle adventures. But even as she dreamed, the stars above kept blinking, steady and peaceful, watching over her, ensuring that she was safe and sound, wrapped in the warmth of their light. Mia's sleep deepened, and the stars, like her kind protectors, blinked her into the sweetest of dreams, sending her heart floating on soft clouds until the morning sun would awaken her from this beautiful, starry slumber. On a calm and peaceful night, when the world seemed to be holding its breath, little Nora sat by her window, watching the moon rise high above. The silver light of the moon bathed the world in a soft, glowing hue, making everything look magical. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, and the distant sounds of the night were hushed, as though the world was quietly listening to something special. Nora had always been drawn to the moon. To her, it was more than just a glowing ball of light in the sky. It was a quiet friend, a silent storyteller that whispered its secrets in the stillness of the night. Tonight, the moon seemed brighter than ever, its light shimmering like a soft melody in the sky. As Nora lay down in bed, pulling the soft blanket around her, she closed her eyes and let the quietness of the night wrap around her. The moonlight streamed through her window, filling the room with its peaceful glow. She felt as though the moon was singing to her, a gentle song that only the heart could hear. It wasn't loud or boisterous, but soft and soothing, like a lullaby that calms the soul. Nora smiled and nestled deeper into her pillow, feeling the gentle warmth of her blanket, and as she listened to the quiet song of the moon, her thoughts began to slow down, like the soft rhythm of a heart at rest. The moon's song wasn't made of words but of light and silence, a song that reached deep into her heart, filling it with peace. She imagined the moon's light floating through the night air, touching everything it passed, soothing the trees, the flowers, and even the stars in the sky. Everything seemed to be moving in harmony, as though the world itself was listening to the moon's quiet tune. Nora's eyelids grew heavier as the gentle rhythm of the moon's song lulled her closer to sleep. The soft light of the moon seemed to surround her, as if it was holding her gently in its embrace. She could feel the peacefulness of the night deep inside her, and with each passing moment, she felt her body relax more and more, as though she were becoming one with the calmness of the world around her. The quiet song of the moon filled her dreams, guiding her into a world of peaceful slumbers where she floated through fields of soft, glowing light, dancing with the stars and listening to the moon's gentle tune. In her dreams, she traveled far and wide, carried by the song of the moon, to places where the night was always calm and peaceful, where the moon's light was the softest, most beautiful thing in the sky. The world felt like a peaceful lullaby, and with the moon's quiet song filling her heart, Nora drifted deeper into her sleep, surrounded by a sense of serenity and love. The song of the moon would stay with her through the night, singing her to the sweetest of dreams, and when the morning sun began to rise, it would gently bring her back to the waking world. But for now, she was safe under the moon's quiet, calming melody, floating through a world of dreams. As the evening settled in and the world grew quiet, little Lily snuggled into her bed, feeling the softness of her blanket wrap around her like a warm hug. The sky outside was deepening into shades of purple and blue, and the stars began to twinkle one by one, lighting up the night. But Lily's favorite part of the night was always when the moon would rise, glowing softly like a friendly face watching over her. She pulled her blanket a little higher, letting the fabric cover her shoulders, and closed her eyes, but instead of drifting off to sleep right away, she smiled, thinking about how her blanket was more than just a soft cover. To Lily, her blanket was made of dreams. Every night, as she lay under its warmth, it seemed to whisper to her, pulling her into a world of beautiful, gentle dreams. The fabric felt so light, like it was woven from the very stars themselves, and each time she drifted off, she imagined herself wrapped in the most peaceful, comforting dreams. Tonight, as the moonlight filtered softly into her room, Lily imagined the moon itself gently tucking her in, its silver beams wrapping around her like threads of light, weaving the most beautiful dreams into the fabric of her blanket. With each blink, the dreams began to take shape, each one more magical than the last. She could see herself flying through soft clouds, her feet barely touching the ground, floating weightlessly through the night. The stars danced around her, laughing and sparkling in the night sky, guiding her along the way as if they were old friends, showing her paths of shimmering light that led to peaceful places. As the dreams grew closer, Lily could feel her blanket becoming even softer, as though the very fabric was filled with the comfort of every wish, every gentle thought, and every peaceful moment she'd ever dreamed of. The moon continued to shine brightly outside her window, its gentle glow adding to the warmth of her dreams. Lily could feel the night pulling her deeper into a restful slumber, and with each breath, she sank further into the peaceful world her blanket had woven for her. It was as if every thread of her blanket was made from the whispers of the wind, the glow of the stars, and the warmth of the moon itself, wrapping her in a blanket of peace and love. The dreams grew even more beautiful, carrying her to places where she could run with the softest winds, play among the stars, and dance under the moon's soft light. Each dream was like a little gift, filled with joy, laughter, and quiet beauty. Lily's heart felt light and full of happiness, and as she drifted deeper into the soft embrace of her dreams, she felt completely safe, surrounded by the quiet love of the night and the gentle protection of her magical, dream-filled blanket. With each passing moment, she felt herself growing lighter, floating in a world made only of the most wonderful dreams, and as her breath slowed and her body relaxed, Lily knew that she was wrapped in the warmth of the most peaceful, loving dreams. The moon continued to shine down on her, its light weaving the most beautiful dreams into her sleep, guiding her through the quiet night, as her blanket, made of dreams, held her gently in its soft embrace. As the stars began to twinkle softly in the sky, and the world settled into its peaceful night, little Emma lay in her bed, her eyes wide open as she gazed out of her window. The moon was rising, casting a gentle silver glow over the earth, and the soft breeze whispered through the trees outside, bringing with it the scent of the cool night air. Emma pulled her blanket up close, but she still felt wide awake, her mind full of thoughts that wouldn't let her fall asleep. She wished she could feel more peaceful, like the world around her, calm and still. As she lay there, she noticed something magical. The sky seemed to reach down, as though it were giving her a gentle embrace. It was as if the stars themselves were wrapping their light around her, giving her a bedtime hug from above. Emma smiled softly, imagining the stars winking at her, each one a tiny, glowing hug from the night sky. The soft light of the moon seemed to grow warmer, wrapping her in a quiet, tender glow that filled her room with a peaceful energy. The wind outside grew even softer, like the gentle touch of someone's hand on her cheek, soothing and calming her restless heart. The world felt like it was holding its breath, and in that moment, Emma felt safe, surrounded by the love and care of the sky itself. It was as if the whole universe was giving her a bedtime hug, making sure she was comfortable and protected. The sky above seemed to sing a soft lullaby, a melody so gentle that Emma could almost hear it in the quiet of the night. She felt the embrace of the stars as they blinked softly, like the sky was sending its love to her in a language only her heart could understand. She closed her eyes and let out a long, peaceful breath, her body sinking deeper into the warmth of her bed. The hug from the sky seemed to wrap around her, making her feel light and safe, as though there was nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. The moon continued to shine softly, and Emma imagined herself floating up into the sky, carried by the soft beams of moonlight and held gently by the stars. She could feel the sky's embrace around her, the loving touch of the night keeping her close. As she drifted off to sleep, the gentle hug from the sky stayed with her, wrapping her dreams in warmth and peace. The sky itself was her protector, keeping watch over her as she slept, sending her comfort and love with every twinkling star and every soft breeze. And in the morning, when she awoke, she would know that the sky was always there, waiting to give her another bedtime hug, filling her heart with the same peace and comfort every night. As the sun slowly sank below the horizon, painting the sky in soft shades of purple and orange, little Sophie sat by her window, watching the stars begin to twinkle in the deepening night. The world outside grew quiet, and a gentle breeze stirred the trees, carrying with it the coolness of the evening. Sophie felt a sense of calm wash over her, but she also felt a little nervous. The night was always so mysterious to her, so dark and silent, and sometimes she found it a bit scary. But tonight was different. As the stars slowly appeared one by one, Sophie could feel something change in the air, something soft and comforting. The night no longer felt lonely or frightening. Instead, it felt like it was reaching out to her, inviting her to be a part of its peaceful embrace. She snuggled under her blanket and closed her eyes, but instead of feeling anxious, she felt a strange sense of peace. The night had become her friend. It wasn't dark or cold anymore. Instead, it was warm and full of promise, like an old friend who had come to comfort her. Sophie imagined the night wrapping itself around her in a soft, gentle hug, its coolness now a comfort, like the air around her was made of soft feathers. The moon rose high, glowing softly in the sky, and Sophie smiled as she imagined the moon's light reaching down to touch her, just like a friend's hand, guiding her into a safe and peaceful sleep. The stars, too, seemed to wink at her, their soft light like little eyes watching over her, keeping her company. The night whispered gently through the trees, telling Sophie that there was nothing to fear, that the world was full of beauty and calm, even in the dark. Sophie closed her eyes once more, her body relaxing as she felt the friendship of the night settle around her like a warm, soft blanket. She could feel the cool night air drifting in through her window, and instead of feeling afraid, she felt comforted. It was as though the night was her protector now, holding her in its quiet, loving arms. The rustling of the leaves outside sounded like a lullaby, gentle and soothing, and Sophie imagined the night telling her stories of distant lands, places where everything was peaceful and the stars shone bright. As she drifted off to sleep, Sophie felt the friendship of the night surround her, making her feel safe and loved. The darkness no longer seemed like something to fear, but something beautiful and full of wonder. The stars were her friends, the moon her guide, and the soft night air her comfort. The night had truly become her friend, a friend who would always be there, watching over her as she slept, keeping her safe in the quiet world of dreams. And with that thought, Sophie smiled and let herself drift deeper into the peaceful embrace of the night, knowing that she would always be surrounded by its love and friendship. As the quiet of the night wrapped around her, little Mia lay in bed, gazing up at the ceiling where soft shadows danced in the gentle light of the moon. The world outside her window was still, and the stars sparkled brightly, each one like a tiny jewel in the velvet sky. Mia had always loved the night, but tonight was different. Tonight, she could feel something magical in the air, as though the stars were closer than ever before, and their gentle glow seemed to whisper secrets of the universe to her. She pulled her blanket up, feeling its warmth surround her like a hug, and closed her eyes. As she did, she imagined that the stars above her were weaving a beautiful blanket of dreams, wrapping each of her hopes and wishes in soft, shimmering dust. The night felt like it was holding her close, as if the sky itself was tenderly rocking her to sleep. Mia's heart felt light, and her mind began to drift. She imagined herself floating through the stars, carried gently by the soft winds of the night. With every breath, It was as if the stars were giving her a little more of their magic, each tiny sparkle turning into a beautiful dream, shining bright and full of wonder. She could see herself flying through clouds made of silver mist, the stars trailing behind her like ribbons of light. The moon was her guide, glowing softly as it led her on a journey through peaceful, starry landscapes. Mia's dreams were no longer just dreams, they were wrapped in the softest star dust, shimmering with the light of 1,000 wishes. She felt as though she was part of the night itself, connected to the stars, the moon, and the gentle breeze that carried the whispers of the universe. The more she thought about it, the more the stars seemed to sparkle brighter, as if they were encouraging her to let go, to surrender to the peaceful embrace of her dreams. She felt safe, like the stars were watching over her, protecting her as she drifted deeper into the world of sleep. Each star she saw felt like a promise, a little gift of magic that would carry her through the night, wrapped in warmth and stardust. Mia's thoughts were soft, like the breeze outside her window, and as she exhaled deeply, she felt herself float even further into her dreams. The stars continued to twinkle, and Mia's heart felt light, knowing that she was surrounded by the magic of the night. The blanket of dreams wrapped around her, filled with the twinkling dust of the stars, and she surrendered herself to the peacefulness of sleep. In that moment, the world outside her window seemed to disappear, and all that was left was the quiet, the stars, and the soft dust of dreams wrapping around her like a beautiful, endless hug. The night had become her friend, and with each breath, Mia was carried further into a world where dreams were made of stardust and where every wish she made was gently cradled in the sky. As the day faded away and the soft whispers of the evening took over, Lily snuggled into her bed, the cool breeze gently flowing through her window. Outside, the sky deepened into a blanket of rich blues and purples, and the stars began to twinkle softly, like tiny diamonds scattered across the heavens. But it was the moon that caught Lily's attention tonight. It shone brightly, casting a warm, comforting glow over the world below. Lily had always loved the moon, and tonight, she felt as though it was looking back at her, just as she had looked at it many times before. There was something different about tonight, though. As she lay there, her mind full of thoughts, worries, and little dreams, she felt a sense of peace slowly settling in. It was as though the moon was listening, as though it had heard every wish and every unspoken hope she had ever held in her heart. The more she watched the moon, the more she felt it gently soothing her, as if it were cradling her thoughts in its soft, silver light. She closed her eyes and imagined the moon floating closer, its glow becoming warmer and brighter, wrapping her in a blanket of calm. It was as though the moon had taken all of her worries and was holding them in the sky, far away from her, leaving her heart open to peaceful dreams. Lily took a deep breath, her chest rising and falling in rhythm with the gentle breeze. She imagined that the moon was listening to her thoughts, hearing the quiet whispers of her heart and offering comfort in return. The night seemed to grow stiller, and Lily felt as though time had slowed down just for her. The world around her, once so busy, felt distant now, and all that mattered was the quiet presence of the moon above. She felt safe, as though the moon was her protector, its light a soft guide that would carry her through the night. It was as if the moon itself was telling her that everything would be all right, that she didn't need to worry or rush. She could rest now, let the night take over, and trust that the moon would watch over her. The more she listened to the quiet rhythm of her breath, the more the moon's light seemed to seep into her being, filling her with a soft, comforting warmth. As Lily's eyelids fluttered, she felt her mind start to quiet down, like the moon had gently brushed away her worries, one by one. The world outside seemed to blur into a peaceful haze, and in that moment, she felt completely at ease. The moon had heard her, listened to every quiet whisper, and in return, it was offering her the peaceful embrace of the night. Lily smiled softly, knowing that she was never truly alone, for the moon would always be there, listening gently, offering comfort and light. And as she drifted into sleep, the moon's soft glow continued to surround her, a promise of peace, love, and care, until the morning light would come to wake her with new hopes and dreams. As the night grew deeper, the world outside became a soft, silvery blur, with the clouds drifting lazily across the sky, their edges glowing faintly under the light of the moon. Emily lay in her bed, gazing out the window, watching the clouds move as though they were following a path only they could see. The air was cool, and the soft rustle of leaves in the trees outside created a calming melody, like a lullaby meant only for her. Emily loved the clouds, and tonight, they seemed different. It was as if they were inviting her to join them, to follow a path that only appeared in the quiet of the night. She closed her eyes and imagined herself walking on a path made entirely of soft, fluffy clouds, the kind that felt like walking on pillows. With each step, the clouds beneath her feet shifted and moved, creating a gentle rhythm as if they were guiding her forward, leading her on an adventure. The path stretched out before her, winding through the sky, and as she walked, she felt the cool air of the night wrap around her like a comforting blanket. The moonlight, soft and warm, danced on the edges of the clouds, casting a peaceful glow that made the world feel even quieter and more magical. She could hear nothing but the soft sound of her footsteps, each one as gentle as the clouds beneath her, and for the first time in a long time, Emily felt completely at peace. There were no worries, no rush, just the quiet path of clouds that seemed to stretch on forever. As she continued walking, she noticed that the path wasn't just made of clouds, it was lined with tiny stars, twinkling softly like little eyes watching over her. With each step, the stars seemed to grow brighter, guiding her further into the night, leading her towards a place where dreams were born. The clouds beneath her feet felt soft and light, like they were made of the gentlest feathers, and with every step, she felt lighter too, as though the worries of the day were floating away with the breeze. The night sky above her seemed endless, full of possibilities and wonder, and as she walked along the cloudy path, Emily felt as though she was part of something much bigger than herself, something peaceful and full of magic. She smiled, knowing that no matter where the path took her, she would always be surrounded by the quiet beauty of the night and the soft, guiding presence of the clouds. The more she walked, the more she felt herself being carried into a deep, peaceful slumber, the path of clouds leading her into a world of dreams. Her footsteps grew slower, the gentle rhythm of the clouds beneath her feet easing her into a restful sleep. With a final glance at the stars twinkling above her and the soft moonlight casting its glow, Emily allowed herself to drift away, knowing that the clouds would carry her through the night, guiding her through the peaceful world of dreams. And as she closed her eyes, the path of clouds disappeared into the night, taking her with it into a place where only peaceful thoughts and sweet dreams existed. As the night wrapped the world in its quiet embrace, Mia lay in her bed, staring up at the ceiling, her mind drifting away with the stillness of the evening. Outside, the sky was a vast canvas of dark velvet, scattered with twinkling stars that seemed to shimmer with a mysterious, soft glow. The stars, far away yet so close in her heart, always brought her a sense of peace. Tonight, however, they felt different. As the wind whispered gently through the trees, Mia could almost hear the stars speaking to her, their light flickering in rhythm with her breathing. She closed her eyes and imagined herself floating upwards, through the soft night air, past the rooftops and trees, until she was high above, surrounded by the quiet sparkle of the stars. It was as though the stars were reaching down to her, their glow wrapping around her like a blanket, offering warmth and comfort. The more she focused, the more she could feel the stars calling to her, their whispers soft and gentle, like a lullaby carried on the night breeze. Mia let out a slow, contented sigh as she felt herself drifting, her body becoming lighter, her mind calmer with each whisper from the stars. It was as if the universe itself was speaking directly to her, offering a quiet reassurance that everything was as it should be. In that moment, she felt an overwhelming sense of connection to everything around her. The stars, the sky, the night, and herself. She realized that these stars, with their soft whispers, were always there, guiding her, calming her fears, and filling her heart with hope. The night felt less lonely now, as though the stars were her friends, always watching over her even when she couldn't see them. Mia smiled softly, her eyes fluttering closed as she imagined the stars telling her stories of distant places and endless dreams. Each twinkle felt like a word, each flicker a sentence, and together, they formed a beautiful tale that made her heart swell with happiness. The whispers grew softer, like a gentle promise that the stars would never leave her, that they would always be there when she needed them most. She felt safe, as though the night itself was a warm, protective embrace, and the stars were its silent guardians, keeping her safe as she drifted into sleep. With each passing moment, Mia's body grew heavier, and her breathing slowed, syncing with the quiet rhythm of the stars' whispers. She let herself go, allowing the soft sounds of the stars' whispers to lull her into a peaceful slumber. As she closed her eyes completely, the last thing she felt was the gentle kiss of the stars' light on her forehead, a soft, loving touch that promised her sweet dreams. And in the quiet of the night, surrounded by the whispers of the stars, Mia fell into the deepest, most peaceful sleep she had ever known, knowing that the stars would always be there, gently guiding her even in her dreams. The night was calm, and the world outside was bathed in a soft silver light as the moon hung low in the sky, casting its glow over everything it touched. Inside her room, Lily lay curled up under her blanket, her eyes wide open as she gazed out the window, watching the trees sway gently in the breeze, their leaves shimmering with the moon's light. It felt like the whole world was holding its breath, waiting for something magical to happen. She had always loved nights like this, when everything seemed peaceful and still, as though time itself had slowed down just for her. Her thoughts drifted slowly, carried away by the calmness of the night, and before she knew it, she found herself imagining a tale, a sleepy tale that the silver light of the moon whispered just for her. In this tale, she was walking through a forest bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, the ground beneath her feet covered in cool, silvery mist. The trees stretched high above her, their branches whispering secrets to the wind as it passed by. The air smelled sweet, like fresh flowers mixed with the coolness of the night, and every step she took felt lighter than the last, as if the forest was inviting her deeper into its gentle embrace. As she walked, the silver light of the moon seemed to follow her, casting long, shimmering shadows on the ground. The path ahead was lined with soft flowers that glowed faintly, lighting the way, and Lily couldn't help but smile as she walked deeper into the magical forest. The sounds of the night were soft and soothing, an owl calling from far off, the rustling of leaves, the gentle croon of a distant stream, and Lily felt at peace, like she was a part of this peaceful world. She could feel the cool mist against her skin, and as she looked up, the stars above seemed to twinkle just for her, like tiny silver lights in the vast, endless sky. In the distance, she saw a glowing figure moving toward her, its light soft and inviting, It was a small creature, glowing with the same silver light as the moon, and it smiled at her kindly. It looked like something from a dream, a creature of the night that only appeared when the world was quiet and the stars were shining bright. The creature led her through the forest, showing her the hidden paths and secret places where the silver light danced in the trees. It told her that this forest was a special place, where dreams were born and wishes were carried on the breeze, and Lily could feel the magic in the air as they walked together. As they reached the heart of the forest, the creature pointed to a small, glowing pond, its waters shimmering like liquid silver. Lily knelt down beside it, and as she gazed into the water, she saw the most beautiful reflection of herself, a reflection of peace, of calm, and of happiness. The creature smiled again and told her that the silver light she had followed was the light of her own dreams, and it would always be there to guide her when she needed it most. Lily closed her eyes, letting the soothing sounds of the forest and the gentle glow of the moon lull her into a peaceful sleep. She felt safe, surrounded by the magic of the night, and as the silver light wrapped around her like a warm blanket, she let herself drift into the world of dreams, knowing that she would always carry the peacefulness of the silver night with her, no matter where she went. As the world outside drifted into the quiet embrace of night, the soft hum of the evening breeze whispered through the trees, carrying the scent of fresh grass and cool air. In her cozy room, Lily lay curled up under her blanket, her eyelids heavy, but her mind still awake, drifting through the calm night air. She stared up at the ceiling, her thoughts floating like clouds, trying to catch the elusive feeling of sleep. But tonight felt different. It was as if something mysterious was waiting just beyond the reach of her dreams. She closed her eyes and imagined herself lying on a soft bed of clouds, high above the world, where the stars twinkled like tiny diamonds, scattered across a vast, velvet sky. The sky was different here. It wasn't just any sky, but the secret sky of sleep, a place where dreams lived and danced among the stars, where every wish and whisper found its place in the vastness of the night. As Lily imagined this secret sky, she felt a gentle warmth wash over her, as if the sky itself was wrapping her in a soft, comforting blanket, protecting her from all the worries of the day. The stars above seemed to shimmer in response to her thoughts, each one glowing brighter, as if they were aware of her presence. The air was calm, and the world below seemed so far away, as though it no longer existed in the way it had before. In this secret sky, time moved differently. It was slower, more peaceful, as if every moment stretched into eternity, giving Lily the space to relax and let go of her thoughts. She felt lighter here, her body floating on the soft clouds, as if sleep had already begun to take its gentle hold on her. The clouds beneath her were soft and fluffy, like cotton candy, and as she lay there, she could feel herself slowly drifting. A soft breeze blew through the sky, carrying with it the faint sound of a lullaby, the melody of the stars themselves, singing her to sleep. Each note was a soft, soothing whisper, wrapping her in a sense of calm and serenity, as if the sky was singing a gentle song just for her. As the lullaby played, Lily felt her eyelids grow heavier, her breath slowing down, and her body sinking deeper into the soft clouds. The secret sky of sleep was taking her on a journey, one that only the stars and the night could understand. She could feel herself being guided toward the land of dreams, where everything was calm and peaceful, where there were no worries, no fears, only the gentle, comforting embrace of sleep. As she drifted further into the sky, the stars twinkled brighter, and Lily could feel herself becoming lighter, almost weightless, floating on a dreamlike current. The secret sky of sleep held no boundaries, no limits, just endless possibilities, where every dream she could imagine was waiting to come true. And with that thought, Lily allowed herself to sink into the peaceful rhythm of the night, her body fully relaxed, her mind quiet and at ease. She was no longer just in her bed. She was in the secret sky of sleep, surrounded by the gentle glow of the stars, ready to journey into the world of dreams, where everything was perfect and safe. The lullaby of the stars played softly in the background, and as Lily took her final breath of the night, she finally let go, surrendering to the embrace of the secret sky and the peaceful sleep that awaited her, knowing that when she awoke, she would carry a piece of the secret sky with her, a reminder that rest and peace were always within reach, waiting to take her back whenever she needed it most. On a quiet night, as the world beneath the stars seemed to drift into a peaceful slumber, Emma lay on her soft bed, gazing out the window. The moon hung high in the sky, casting its silvery light over everything, turning the night into a canvas of quiet beauty. The stars sparkled softly, like little jewels scattered across a velvet sky, and Emma felt herself sinking into the calmness of the moment. She closed her eyes, and as she did, a gentle thought passed through her mind. A thought that there was a place, somewhere high above, where dreams and the sky met, a place so peaceful and quiet that it was almost as if the dreams themselves were the stars, gliding effortlessly through the sky. In her imagination, she found herself floating up, her body weightless, her heart calm, as she drifted toward this place where the sky and dreams met. She could feel the cool breeze around her, like soft whispers of the night, guiding her as she journeyed higher and higher, until she reached the place where the two worlds merged. It was a place of endless stars, where the moon's glow was so gentle that it seemed to wrap the sky in a blanket of soft light. Here, the stars didn't just twinkle, they danced. They spun around each other, creating shapes, painting pictures in the sky with the stories of the dreams they carried. Each star had a tale to tell, a wish to share, and Emma felt as though she were part of the story, a traveler in this magical world where dreams touched the sky. The air around her was thick with the sweet scent of night flowers, and she could hear the soft hum of the breeze as it moved through the sky, carrying with it the quiet voices of all the dreams that had ever been whispered to the stars. It was here, in this place, that all the hopes, wishes, and peaceful thoughts of the world were born. The sky seemed endless, stretching far beyond what Emma could see, full of stars and dreams waiting to be discovered. She watched as one star, brighter than the others, gently floated down toward her, carrying with it a soft, glowing light. As it reached her, it whispered something that made her smile and feel at peace. It was a promise that her dreams would always be safe here, in this place where the sky and dreams were one. Emma took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of the stars' light wrap around her, and with a soft sigh, she let herself fall deeper into this world, knowing that she would never be alone here. The stars, her dreams, and the sky would always be with her, a reminder that no matter how far away the world may feel, there is always a place where dreams can soar, where the night is soft, and where peace is found in the gentle embrace of the sky. As the stars continued to dance and the breeze whispered the lullabies of the universe, Emma felt her body relax completely, her mind calm, and her heart full of peace. The stars blinked softly above, like a lullaby made of light, and Emma closed her eyes, letting the dreams that had touched the sky carry her into a deep, restful sleep, knowing that she would always return to this peaceful place whenever she needed to find comfort, peace, and the magic of where dreams touched the sky. On a cool, quiet night, the world outside seemed to sleep in peaceful harmony, while inside, Sarah lay in her soft bed, staring out of her window at the twinkling stars above. The sky, dark and vast, stretched endlessly, a reminder of how small and quiet the world could feel when the night wrapped its arms around everything. There was a gentle stillness in the air, broken only by the soft rustle of leaves in the trees outside. Sarah's thoughts, though tired, seemed restless, swirling with worries and unspoken hopes. As she gazed at the stars, something inside her began to shift. It was as though the quiet beauty of the night was calling to her, offering her a moment of peace. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill her lungs. In that breath, she felt a flicker of something warm, a spark of hope that began to grow within her. It was as if the stars, each one glowing with soft light, were offering her their gentle, calming energy, filling her heart with quiet assurance. Sarah imagined that the night, with its quiet mystery, was a place where all hopes and dreams gathered, a place where anything was possible. The more she thought about it, the more she felt connected to the vastness of the sky, as though the stars were quietly whispering to her, reminding her that the night wasn't just about silence, it was about renewal, about starting fresh. She imagined that every star was a tiny beacon of hope, shining for those who needed it most, like a soft reminder that even in the darkest times, there was always light somewhere, always something to look forward to. With every passing moment, Sarah felt her worries begin to dissolve, replaced by a deep sense of calm. The night had become a quiet friend, one that held her gently, helping her release the stress and tension of the day. In the stillness, she could hear the distant hum of the world, but it seemed far away, as though it belonged to a different time, a different place. Here, under the vast sky, there was only the present, only the peaceful embrace of the night, offering her comfort and peace. Sarah let go of her thoughts, sinking deeper into the blanket of night around her. She allowed herself to drift into a state of quiet relaxation, her body resting easily, her heart filled with the soft glow of hope. She imagined her dreams as tiny sparks of light, floating gently into the sky, where they would be cradled by the stars, safe and warm. The night had become a place of promise, a place where hope was renewed and where every moment was a chance to begin again. As Sarah's eyes fluttered closed, she felt the weight of the day lift off her shoulders, replaced by the gentle light of the stars and the soft whispers of hope that filled the night. The world seemed to slow down, and Sarah, at last, let go, her breath deep and steady, knowing that tomorrow would be a new day, filled with new possibilities. She was no longer alone with her worries. She was wrapped in the quiet comfort of the night, filled with hope and the promise of a peaceful, restful sleep. As the quiet night unfolded, Lily lay in her soft, cozy bed, staring out the window at the shimmering stars above. The moonlight bathed everything in its gentle glow, casting a calm, peaceful light over the world. Outside, the night was still, the kind of stillness that made everything feel as if it were holding its breath, waiting for something magical to happen. Lily's eyelids felt heavy, but her mind wandered with thoughts of adventure and wonder. She closed her eyes, imagining a world far away from the quiet room she lay in, a world full of sparkling stars and glimmering paths. In this dreamland, everything was different. Everything was beautiful and full of light. As her thoughts drifted deeper, she found herself walking along a soft, glowing path that wound through a forest made entirely of sparkling trees. Each tree was adorned with tiny lights, like little stars caught in the branches. The ground beneath her feet shimmered as if made of the finest dust, the kind that glowed softly with every step she took. The air was warm and sweet, carrying the scent of flowers that seemed to bloom with every breath she took. As she walked, the stars above her twinkled more brightly, sending gentle beams of light down to her, as if guiding her along her journey. Each beam of light seemed to tell her a story, a secret of the night sky, and she listened closely, feeling as if she were part of something much bigger than herself. The dreamland around her was full of magic. Soft sparkles floated in the air like tiny fireflies, dancing around her as if they were welcoming her into this beautiful world. Lily smiled as she reached out, trying to catch the sparkles, but they flitted away, teasing her playfully. She laughed softly, the sound of her joy blending with the peaceful stillness of the night. As she continued to walk, she noticed that the stars themselves seemed to shine more brightly, their glow warming the air around her, creating a soft, golden light that made everything look even more magical. It was as if the entire dreamland had come alive just for her, filling her heart with a sense of wonder and peace. Each step she took felt lighter, her worries and cares melting away as she walked deeper into the dreamland. She no longer felt the weight of the world around her. Instead, she felt free, as if she could float among the stars themselves. Suddenly, the path ahead of her opened up to a vast, sparkling meadow, where thousands of tiny stars floated gently in the air, like glowing bubbles. The meadow was bathed in soft, silvery light, and in the distance, she could see a shimmering castle made of crystal and stardust. It looked like a place where dreams were made, a place where anything was possible. Lily walked toward the castle, her heart light and full of hope. As she reached the gates, they slowly opened, and she stepped inside, feeling as if she had entered the heart of her own dreams. The inside was even more beautiful, with walls that glowed with soft light, and floors that shimmered with every step. It was the perfect dreamland, a place where everything was peaceful, gentle, and full of sparkles. Lily could feel the magic all around her, wrapping her in a warm, comforting embrace. She sat down on a soft, sparkling cloud that floated nearby, feeling completely at ease. The dreamland was her safe space, a place where she could be free, a place where sparkles filled the air, and every corner held a new adventure. As she lay back, gazing up at the stars through the crystal-clear sky above, she felt her body relax completely. The stars whispered their soft lullaby to her, and she closed her eyes, drifting deeper into the peacefulness of her dreamland. With a final smile, she let herself surrender to the magic of the moment, knowing that in her dreamland of sparkles, she would always find peace, joy, and a world full of beauty to return to whenever she needed it. As the day gently faded into night, a soft, peaceful hush fell over the world. The sky above slowly deepened into a rich shade of midnight blue, and the first stars began to twinkle softly, one by one, like tiny jewels scattered across a velvet blanket. Lila, tucked snugly in her bed, gazed out of her window at the vast sky, feeling as though the stars were calling to her. The cool breeze whispered through the trees, carrying with it a sense of calm that wrapped around her like a warm, comforting hug. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the peacefulness of the night wash over her. Her mind drifted to the magical world she often visited in her dreams, a place where the sky was always full of wonder. Tonight, it felt like the sky itself was alive, full of secrets and stories just waiting to be discovered. As she drifted deeper into sleep, Lila imagined herself floating up into the night sky, her body light as a feather. The stars above her sparkled brighter, their soft glow casting a gentle light on everything below. She felt as though she were being carried by the wind, floating among the stars, with nothing to worry about, only the beauty of the night to embrace. Far away, she could hear the soft music of the universe, a melody woven from the twinkling of the stars and the hum of the night. It was as though the sky itself was singing a lullaby, a soft, soothing song that lulled her deeper into sleep. Lila smiled, feeling the magic of the night surround her. She imagined the stars as tiny, kind-hearted beings, each one shining just for her, offering her their light and warmth. As she floated higher, she could see the moon, glowing brightly, casting its silvery light over the land below. The moon seemed to smile down at her, as if inviting her to join in the dance of the stars. Lila stretched out her arms, feeling as though she were part of the night sky, connected to the stars and the moon in a way that made her heart feel light and free. The world below seemed so far away, but it no longer mattered. Up here, in the sky full of magic, she felt completely at peace, as though all the troubles of the world had melted away. She could see constellations forming shapes and stories in the sky, each one telling a tale of adventure, of dreams, and of the mysteries of the universe. Each star seemed to whisper its own secret, and Lila listened, feeling as though she were part of something much larger than herself. Her heart filled with wonder as she floated through the endless sky, knowing that in this magical world, anything was possible. She felt no fear, only the gentle pull of the moon's light and the soft embrace of the stars. As the night deepened, the sky seemed to grow more beautiful, its magic even stronger. Lila felt as though the very air around her was filled with dreams and promises, as though the sky itself was telling her that anything she dreamed was within her reach. The stars twinkled more brightly, each one a tiny reminder of the magic in the world. Lila sighed softly, feeling the calm of the night wash over her completely. Her eyes fluttered closed, her body sinking into the warmth of her bed. The magic of the sky lingered, wrapping her in its gentle glow, and she drifted off into a deep, peaceful sleep. The stars above continued to twinkle, their soft light a quiet promise that the magic of the night would always be there, waiting to guide her through her dreams. In this bedtime sky full of magic, Lila felt safe, loved, and ready to dream of all the wonders the night held for her. As the night settled over the world, soft and gentle, a little girl named Mia lay in her cozy bed, tucked in under a soft blanket. The stars outside her window twinkled quietly, as if they were tiny eyes watching over her, and the moon cast a calm, silver light into her room. The night air was cool, but her room was warm and filled with the soft whispers of the wind outside. Mia's tiny heart beat gently, slow and steady, like a soft drum, as she closed her eyes and let the quiet of the night fill her with peace. Her mind was calm, and she felt safe, surrounded by the soft embrace of her blankets and the soft sounds of the world around her. She imagined the stars above her dancing in the sky, their light so gentle it made everything feel magical. In her little heart, she carried the warmth of all the love she had felt during the day. Her family's smiles, the laughter of her friends, and the kindness of everyone around her filled her heart with joy. As Mia drifted deeper into sleep, she felt as if she were floating up into the night sky, carried by the whispers of the wind and the glow of the stars. It was as if the stars were inviting her to join them in their peaceful dance, and she smiled softly, her tiny heart full of wonder. The moon, glowing softly above, seemed to sing a lullaby just for her, a sweet, soft melody that filled the air with comfort and warmth. With each note, Mia's tiny heart felt lighter, as if all her worries and fears had melted away. She could feel the warmth of the moon's light wrap around her, gently cradling her in a blanket of dreams. Her body relaxed completely, sinking deeper into the soft, comforting bed, as her dreams began to take shape. In the dream world, Mia found herself in a beautiful, quiet forest, where the trees were tall and whispering secrets to the wind. The leaves shimmered in the gentle breeze, their soft rustling like the sound of a lullaby. As Mia walked through the forest, She felt the soft touch of the grass beneath her feet and the cool, fresh air on her face. She could see the stars above her, shining so brightly that it felt as though the entire forest was alive with magic. Her tiny heart beat a little faster, filled with excitement as she wandered deeper into this dreamland. She came across a small, glowing pond, its surface reflecting the stars above, and the moon's soft light made the water shimmer. Mia knelt down beside the pond, dipping her fingers into the cool water, feeling the gentle ripples dance beneath her touch. It was as if the water was alive, and with every ripple, it whispered to her, telling her stories of the stars and the sky. Mia smiled softly, her tiny heart swelling with joy and wonder. She felt as though she were part of this peaceful, magical world, where everything was gentle and kind. Slowly, the forest began to fade as her dreams grew softer, like the quiet whispers of the night. Mia's tiny heart felt light, filled with love and the gentle promise of more beautiful dreams to come. The stars above her twinkled in the distance, their soft glow a reminder that even in the quietest of nights, there was always something magical waiting to fill her heart with joy. With a final, content sigh, Mia's dreams carried her deeper into sleep, where she would rest peacefully until morning. Her tiny heart, filled with gentle dreams, beat slowly and softly, resting in the love and magic of the night, safe and sound, until the stars would whisper to her again. As the night fell, soft and serene, little Emma lay quietly in her bed, gazing out of her window at the vast, dark sky. The stars sparkled above her, and the moon shone brightly, casting a gentle glow across her room. There was one star, however, that seemed to shine just a little brighter than the rest, and Emma felt a special connection to it. It twinkled in the distance, as if it were looking back at her, offering its light only for her. Emma closed her eyes and imagined that this star wasn't just far away in the sky but was right there with her, sitting beside her on her pillow. As she drifted deeper into sleep, the star seemed to glow even brighter, casting its soft light all around her. She could feel its warmth, comforting and kind, wrapping her in a gentle embrace, and the more she thought about it, the more the star seemed to grow closer. In the dream world, Emma found herself standing in a beautiful field, the grass soft beneath her feet and the night air filled with the scent of fresh flowers. Above her, the sky stretched wide and endless, and the star was still there, shining brightly just for her. She reached up toward it, and as if responding to her wish, the star began to drift down, closer and closer, until it was right beside her. It hovered just above her shoulder, its light gentle but strong, casting a soft, warm glow over the entire field. Emma smiled, feeling safe and loved as the star stayed beside her, its light like a soft, comforting blanket wrapping her in peace. As she walked through the field, the star followed her, never leaving her side, always shining with the same steady, kind light. She could hear the soft hum of the star's glow, like a lullaby carried on the breeze. Every step she took felt lighter, as if the star's warmth was helping her float, and she felt free of all the worries that sometimes crowded her thoughts during the day. The star whispered a quiet promise, one that Emma couldn't quite understand, but it didn't matter. She felt it deep inside, a comforting truth that the star would always be there, shining beside her, no matter where she went. The night seemed to stretch on forever, peaceful and still, with only the soft rustling of the leaves in the trees to fill the silence. Emma felt her heart fill with love, knowing that the star would never leave her side. It was her special friend, always there to guide her through the darkest nights. Slowly, the field began to fade, and Emma's eyes fluttered open for a brief moment. The star was still there, shining through her window, its gentle glow lighting up her room. She smiled softly, her tiny heart filled with warmth. She closed her eyes again, feeling the star's presence beside her, its soft light a reminder that she was never truly alone. As she drifted back into sleep, Emma could still feel the star's warmth, and she knew that no matter how far away she might go, the star would always be with her, shining brightly beside her in every dream she would ever have. And so, with the star by her side, Emma's heart beat softly, filled with the peaceful assurance that no matter what, she would always have the light of the star to guide her through the night. As the evening light faded, little Lily lay in her bed, her eyes wide open as she gazed up at the window, where the sky was painted in soft shades of pink and purple. The stars hadn't appeared yet, but the clouds were still drifting lazily across the sky, soft and fluffy, like a sea of cotton candy. Lily had always loved watching the clouds, imagining them as gentle giants in the sky, floating and moving with such ease. Tonight, as she stared out, something magical happened. The clouds seemed to move closer, surrounding her in the softest embrace. She could almost feel their cool, comforting touch on her skin, as if they were rocking her gently, like a lullaby whispered by the wind. As Lily drifted into her dreams, she imagined herself high in the sky, lying on one of the clouds, her body cradled by its softness. The clouds beneath her felt warm and safe, rocking her slowly back and forth, just like a hammock in a summer breeze. She smiled, feeling the peaceful rhythm of the clouds, their gentle rocking like the loving hands of a parent comforting a child. With each soft sway, her mind grew lighter, free from the worries of the day. The world below her seemed so far away, and she felt like she was in a magical place, surrounded by the peaceful sounds of the night. The clouds continued their dance in the sky, moving in perfect harmony, and Lily could hear the soft whispers of the wind as it passed through them, like the clouds were telling her secrets only she could understand. The air was sweet with the scent of fresh rain, and the sky above seemed endless, stretching far into the horizon. As she rested on her cloud, the world below her seemed small and quiet, and Lily felt a deep sense of calm wash over her. She imagined the clouds had been waiting for her all day, ready to wrap her in their soft embrace and carry her away to a world of peaceful dreams. The gentle rocking of the clouds helped her drift deeper into her dreams, where the world was filled with light and joy. She could see beautiful fields of flowers, and the clouds floated lazily above her, casting soft shadows on the ground. The stars began to appear, twinkling in the sky like tiny diamonds, and Lily felt a sense of wonder fill her heart. She wasn't afraid, not with the clouds rocking her gently, keeping her safe and warm. It was as if the whole world was her cradle, and the night itself was a song sung just for her. Slowly, Lily's breath became softer, her tiny body relaxed, and she sank deeper into her dreams. The clouds continued their gentle rocking, their movements slow and steady, and Lily felt herself floating further into the dream world, where everything was calm and perfect. As she slept, the clouds above whispered their lullabies to her, wrapping her in a blanket of softness and peace. She knew that no matter what, the clouds would always be there, rocking her gently through every dream, just as they were tonight. And with that thought, her tiny heart beat softly in the quiet night, filled with love and comfort, as the clouds continued to cradle her, guiding her through the most peaceful, magical sleep. As the night wrapped the world in a blanket of stars, Lily lay quietly in her bed, her eyes wide open, staring at the moonlight that streamed through the window. The moon was full, glowing softly in the sky, casting a silver light that filled her room with a gentle, peaceful glow. It was the kind of light that made everything seem magical, like the world itself was holding its breath, waiting for something special to happen. Lily loved the moon, and every night, she would watch it from her window, as if it was her secret friend in the sky. But tonight felt different. As she stared at the moon, a soft breeze fluttered through the window, carrying with it a feeling of something wonderful just about to happen. Lily closed her eyes, and in her imagination she saw the moonbeam, a soft, glowing thread of light, slowly drifting toward her. She reached out her hands, and the moonbeam seemed to respond, floating gently into her fingers, as if it were meant to be hers. She held it carefully, marveling at how it shimmered, warm and soft, like a dream held in her hands. As she cupped her hands around the moonbeam, she felt a sense of calm and wonder, as if the whole universe had paused to share this quiet moment with her. The moonbeam glowed brighter and brighter, filling the room with its gentle light, and Lily felt as though it were filling her heart with a special kind of magic. The light was so soft, like the gentlest touch, and as she held it, she felt as though it was guiding her into a world of dreams, a world where anything was possible. The more she held the moonbeam, the more it seemed to come alive, swirling and dancing in her hands, leaving a trail of stardust behind it. Lily smiled softly, her heart light and full of joy, as she imagined all the places the moonbeam could take her. She wondered if it could carry her to faraway lands, to fields of flowers that stretched on forever, or to forests where the trees whispered secrets only the stars knew. In her dreamlike state, Lily felt her body grow heavy with sleep, but the moonbeam was still there, glowing softly in her hands, a constant reminder that dreams were just within reach. As she lay back against her pillow, the moonbeam seemed to grow even brighter, wrapping her in its soft glow, like a blanket woven from starlight. She felt safe, loved, and peaceful, as though the whole night was watching over her. Slowly, she let go of the moonbeam, allowing it to float up into the sky, where it joined the other beams of moonlight, filling the world with its gentle radiance. But even as the moonbeam disappeared into the sky, Lily could still feel its warmth in her heart. She knew that whenever she needed it, the moonbeam would be there, waiting for her to reach out and hold it once again. With that thought, Lily's eyes fluttered closed, and she drifted off into a peaceful sleep, her heart filled with the quiet magic of the moonbeam, knowing that it would always be there to guide her through the night, and that dreams, like the moonbeam, would always be within her reach. As the soft whispers of the night surrounded the world, little Emily snuggled deeper into her blanket, her eyelids heavy with sleep. Outside her window, the sky was a deep velvet, speckled with countless stars, twinkling like diamonds scattered across a dark cloth. She loved watching the stars before bedtime, imagining they were little friends, far away but always watching over her. Tonight, however, she felt something different. As she gazed at the stars, a soft breeze drifted through the open window, carrying a sweet, calming scent that made her feel as though she was being gently rocked to sleep. Her breath slowed, and before she knew it, Emily was drifting off into a peaceful slumber. But as her body relaxed, something magical began to happen. The stars above seemed to stretch and twinkle even brighter, and suddenly, Emily found herself floating up from her bed, as if the stars themselves were calling her on a journey. She felt no fear, only wonder as she floated higher and higher, her feet barely touching the soft, fluffy clouds that had appeared beneath her. With each soft step, the world below seemed to fade away, and she found herself surrounded by a soft, glowing light. The stars seemed to greet her, their twinkling laughter like 1,000 whispers carried on the wind. The soft light of the moon guided her along the path, like a lantern leading her to a magical adventure. Emily felt her body grow light, as though she were no longer just a little girl, but a part of the very sky itself, a small spark among the stars. She reached out with her hand, and the stars seemed to move closer, dancing around her, forming shapes and patterns in the night sky. They whispered to her in a language only the heart could understand, telling stories of faraway lands, of dreams that sailed on moonbeams and wishes that floated like bubbles on the night air. Emily laughed softly, feeling as though she was part of the stars' secret world, where everything was possible. The sky around her was no longer dark but alive with the shimmering glow of countless stars, each one a little adventure waiting to happen. As Emily floated higher, she felt no fear, only a deep sense of peace, as if the stars were cradling her gently in their glow. The soft wind caressed her face, and she imagined she could hear the distant hum of a lullaby, the music of the universe rocking her gently toward her dreams. As she reached the highest point in the sky, Emily stretched out her hand and touched a star. It was warm, like a soft, glowing pillow, and it seemed to pulse with life. With a gentle smile, Emily knew that she was not alone, that the stars were her friends, always there, always waiting to guide her, no matter how far away they seemed. Slowly, as if the stars themselves were preparing her for the next chapter of her journey, Emily began to float back down, the night sky gently guiding her back to her bed. The stars twinkled below her, their whispers fading into the quiet of the night. When she landed softly on her pillow, Emily felt safe and loved, as though the entire universe had wrapped her in a blanket of light and warmth. Her journey to the stars was over, but she knew, deep in her heart, that the stars would always be there for her, waiting for the next adventure when she closed her eyes and let the night carry her away. With a soft sigh, Emily closed her eyes, her heart filled with the magic of her sleepy journey to the stars, and drifted off into the most peaceful, dream-filled sleep. On a quiet evening, as the world outside rested under the embrace of a deep, dark sky, little Lily lay in her soft bed, wrapped snugly in her favorite blanket. The air was still, and the only sound that could be heard was the gentle rustling of the leaves outside her window, as if the trees were whispering secrets to each other. The moon, full and bright, cast a silvery glow across the room, filling the space with a dreamy light that seemed to soften the edges of everything. Lily gazed at the moon, her eyes growing heavy with sleep, but there was something about the light that felt different tonight. It wasn't just the usual glow, it was as if the moon itself was alive, softly calling to her, inviting her on a peaceful journey. Slowly, her breathing slowed, her body relaxed, and soon Lily found herself slipping into a gentle, quiet slumber. As her eyes closed, she felt a warmth wash over her, a feeling of safety and calm, as though the night itself was wrapping her in its arms. In the dreamlike light of the moon, Lily felt herself rising from her bed, floating as if the light was lifting her up into the sky. There was no fear, only a sense of wonder, as the soft glow of the moon gently carried her away from the world below. The stars twinkled softly in the distance, like tiny beacons, guiding her through the night sky. Lily was no longer just a little girl. She was part of the night itself, part of the peaceful silence that filled the world. She drifted higher and higher, her feet barely touching the soft clouds that appeared beneath her, each one like a fluffy pillow in the sky. The stars seemed to beckon to her, their soft light flickering like 1,000 friendly eyes. As she floated, Lily could hear a gentle melody, the kind of tune that only the night could sing, slow, soothing, and full of wonder. It was a lullaby of the universe, a song that filled her heart with peace. The moon, now close enough to touch, shimmered with a light so soft and inviting that Lily reached out, her fingers grazing its silvery surface. She felt a gentle warmth, as though the moon itself was smiling at her, as if it had been waiting for this moment, just for her. The moon's glow surrounded her, and Lily felt herself becoming lighter, as if the very light of the stars and the moon was filling her with happiness, making her feel weightless, like a dream herself. She floated in this peaceful, dreamy space, feeling as if she could stay here forever, caught between the night and her dreams. Slowly, the world around her began to change, and the soft glow of the moon faded into a gentle, golden light. Lily knew it was time to return. As she floated back toward her bed, the light of the moon guiding her gently, she felt a deep sense of calm, knowing that the night would always be there to welcome her, that the moon would always be shining above, ready to carry her on another dreamy journey when she closed her eyes. She gently settled back into her bed, the soft glow of the moon still filling the room. Her body relaxed, her breath deepened, and with a soft smile, Lily drifted into a peaceful, contented sleep, knowing that no matter where her dreams took her, the silent night and the dreamy light would always be there to guide her through every adventure.